Have we found the next King's avatar? Let's talk about falling into your smile.
It certainly feels like it's Jukai's year. He's got several dramas out this year already, including Court Lady, most recently Ancient Love Poetry, and now Falling Into Your Smile. But we're not here for Jukai to be telling you the truth, we're here for Xiao.
Ever since we first saw her in Legend of Awakening and then on to World of Fantasy, we've been looking out for some drama she's been in, and luckily we found Falling Into Your Smile. And when we say, is this the next King's avatar? I would have to say no, but that's a good thing because they're two different stories. Where King's avatar follows someone who's at the height of their career and then details their comeback into the industry with their own team. This one is about Cheng Xiao's character, Tong Yao, who is an up-and-coming middle laner in a game called Unmyoji Arena, which is kind of like a clone of League of Legends.
And what is a middle laner?
Well, I mean, I tried to get into League of Legends, but I just couldn't. But it is a MOBA style game, and so in this one, of course, it's still a MOBA style game, which is like a multiplayer online battle arena, and they have different lanes in the map. And so there's like the top lane, the bottom lane, the middle lane, there's the jungles, and then they have like mini bosses here and there, like the snakes that give you bonus points. I'm not too familiar with the intricate details, but of course, she would be a middle laner, and so like she's in the charge of the middle lane. That's all I'm...
What I found fascinating about this show so far is that, yes, it's kind of quirky, it's silly at times, but it's more than just about the esports game. It follows Tong Yao's journey into the professional esports world, where she was at the top of hundreds and thousands of middle laners from like more of like the public sector of e-gaming.
Yeah, I think it was the national China server.
She was scouted to replace a retiring mid laner from a popular team called ZDGX.
What I love about this show is that when we talk about King's avatar and we realize that the story is about Yichu and how he rebuilt a team out of nobodies, this is kind of like the show that's about them. Instead of following the person who is already at the top of their game, they're following somebody who's largely a no-name in the esports industry, and she's joining a big team in ZGDX, and this is their journey.
Yeah, and what I find fascinating so far is that she's new. She is a rookie into this new esports professional gaming world, and you win some, you lose some, but it's really the mental aspects of that game. Like what happens when you lose, what happens when you taste a little bit of success. There's this undercurrent that exists in the esports game where you're relying on fans to support you to make this game even more popular. And of course, the internet, or should I say the netizens of the esports world, kind of dictate the amount of money you make and the popularity that you gain, the endorsements, the brand sponsorships. The trolling that happens in this drama kind of takes center stage and plays with all of the emotions that these professionals are going through.
Where King's avatar was all about Yichu and how he battled his old teammates and trying to rise again from the ashes in the esports world, Tong Yao has to battle becoming suddenly famous, live streaming and battling with social media and the netizens, as you said, and the people who are trash talking her and trolling her. And this is where she faces her first and greatest obstacle in the esports arena.
Yeah, and what's interesting so far is that she is the very first female gamer in the esports world, and so there's a lot of discrimination, there's gender politics happening here, and of course it's like her mental health of like proving to everybody that she is as good as anybody else. And so that is also kind of one of the layers that we're unfolding and peeling into this show. Like, how does she come on top? How does she face her obstacles, and how does she overcome all of these challenges? But that's what I find so interesting so far, and I'm like, I find myself rooting for her to succeed, and that's what makes this show pretty intriguing.
In terms of the graphics and the combat and how they visualize the gameplay, it's definitely like King's Avatar, where the players are clicking E and Q and WASD and moving their mouse to click around the map to move. On screen, you see the avatars of Unmyoji Arena fighting actual battles and actual fights with choreography and stylized fighting, just like you saw in King's Avatar, which made me kind of interested to jump into Unmyoji Arena. And I looked up their website, and all the characters are true to life. They match everything. Awesome. All of the characters are there, but of course, I can't get into MOBAs.
What King's Avatar does really well, I mean, exceptionally well, is the world of the game, especially the visual effects and the graphics. It was all like done in such a way where you're like pulled into this like Final Fantasy type of story and environment, where I'm kind of wishing that Falling Into Your Smile kind of had similar visual effects or similar storytelling aspects of like the video game world. Yes, you get the, you know, the cut scenes, but it doesn't seem to be as epic as King's Avatar.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with that. I mean, King's Avatar, definitely the game lends itself to creating this picture of individuality in the characters. Like each person and each player owned their characters. They created a custom character, a custom avatar, and they had their fighting styles. And of course they shared like class abilities. They had the rivalry between the two top players that used the same weapons, and so they had the same abilities. And then when Yichu came back and used dragon rears its head and points to the sky, they had the same abilities, but one of them had mastered like the more extensive abilities. And in this one, this is why I can't get into MOBAs, is because there's a plethora of characters for you to choose, and you can choose a different one depending on what your team needs at the time. And so Hong Yao is known for being China's best Tamama no Mai player, and she has to shift because an opponent on their other side plays the same character, and so she has to play Higanbana. There's like no connection being made between the player and the character of their choice that we can at least see in terms of King's Avatar, where like Yichu owns that character.
Yeah, but they do kind of dive into like the mental aspects of owning a player. Like if you've ever played video games, you had that one character that you were just so good at. You were just so good at this character, and then somebody else comes in who's even better at that character. It kind of destroys your belief system, and that's kind of what's really interesting about this drama so far. That story aspect of it does a really good job, where King's Avatar was really about like the action and the video game and the redemption, where this one has, you know, hints of romance in the air. So I think the difference between those two dramas is that this one is pulling you into more of like a personal journey of a new esports professional, also into a new territory that involves love.
But that'll do it for our first impressions of Falling Into Your Smile. If you're into the genre of esports or the video game genre of C-dramas, this is a great watch for you to start. It's available on Rakuten Viki. I think it's up to episode 10 right now, but the subtitles are a little bit slow, so we're on 8, I think. Yeah, if you enjoyed our video, please leave a like and subscribe for more Asian entertainment. Hit the bell notification and all of that good stuff. But as always, we'll see you in the next one.